movement. And I won't lie, after this next story, I did take a step back. Not that I don't want Wendy out, but like I don't know what's going on right now because there seems to be a lot happening. And I love Wendy. Wendy, you know I love you to death. But it's a lot going on right now. There's these allegations that her son was the reason why her finances got all messed up and got weird, and then that ended her up in the guardianship. It just all is confusing. And now it's out there for us to consume. So people are eating it up. So was I being used for that? Because it's like you're going to do anything you can to help your friend. And when you're helping her son, you think you're helping her until you find out that this right here wasn't even working.
To be honest, I was very curious to why Jason Lee hadn't really been talking about Wendy Williams recently, because remember, him and Charlemagne were the ones really spearheading this whole Free Wendy movement, and it seemed like Jason Lee backed away where Charlemagne is still very involved. Now it's making sense.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 here. And now I had seen a little bit of this video where Jason Lee basically alluded to him feeling bamboozled because he's like, I've been screaming free Wendy, but I did not know, Wendy, you were in this conservatorship because of your son. So let's go ahead and get into this video right away. All right, here we go. And please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Okay, this next story I don't even want to talk about, but we have to. Wendy Williams. Okay, now everybody knows I've been at the forefront of this whole Free Wendy movement. And I won't lie, after this next story, I did take a step back. Not that I don't want Wendy out, but like I don't know what's going on right now because there seems to be a lot happening. And I love Wendy. Wendy, you know I love you to death. But it's a lot going on right now. Wendy Williams has signed documents. Hold on. Wendy Williams has signed documents to end her guardianship. Now, we've also learned that her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., might have had a role in triggering it to begin with. And this is the part of the job that I don't like. But Wendy would have to do it if it was me. So, pow. Wendy's son, Kevin, who I said she only cared about a couple of things. She cared about her show and audience, and she cared about her son. Well, come to find out now, maybe I wasn't all the way accurate. Maybe there was more to the story that I didn't know. Now, before we get into Wendy filing to end her guardianship, let's get into how it even began. Now, while discussing what triggered her conservatorship, Wendy told Harvey at TMZ that she believes that it was possibly due to her son. Now, Kevin Hunter Jr., he lived with her in New York. When you come in her apartment, right to the left is his bedroom, and then you go upstairs to her bedroom. Like it was just those two and the two cats. And then he went to school. Well, during TMZ's new documentary, Saving Wendy, she told host Harvey Levin that her horrible person of a son likely triggered her guardianship by mishandling her money. Now, here's Harvey, Wendy, and Gina Lisa Monterosso, a Medicaid advisory group founder who I am in a group chat with but do not know, had to say, listen.
Anybody ever... So that's weird. He's in a group chat with that lady, but he doesn't know who she is. And he kind of further explains that too as well. One thing that I want to point out, I'm going to skip this part because we already heard the whole TMZ thing. We heard that. We don't need to hear it again. But I will say, just like Jason Lee, this kind of changes thing after learning her son was the reason for her conservatorship. You know, we had heard about the Uber Eats thing, right? He spent over $100K in Uber Eats. But then we just recently found out through that documentary about the boat. Who needs $100K for a boat? And what kind of party is Kevin's not a celebrity? Wendy is a celebrity. It's one thing if she wants to throw an extravagant boat party, but why are you throwing $100K for a boat party? Like, it's weird, you know? And so it does kind of put things into perspective because we've been saying, how did they do this? How were they able to do it? Especially since Wendy has family. Like, shouldn't the family be capable of taking care of Wendy? Well, not when your family is the cause of you being in a conservatorship, right? So I'm going to go ahead and skip this part a little bit.
Explain to you why you're in a guardianship.
No, not exactly.
Here.
You know what I'm saying? He has people. You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only one.
Clearly, there was more to the story. Well, I'll just say,
Allegedly.
I don't know the full details. I just know what she said here. But me and Charlamagne have also been kind of communicating about the fact that we were trying to help free Wendy, and now it's gotten into the hands of all these other people, and it's turned into this expose. Gina Lisa, who I don't know, is somebody that is the person that calls me when Wendy wants to talk, or if Wendy can't get through, Gina Lisa will call me. And I just saw Gina Lisa in this TMZ interview. Never met her before, but clearly she's trusted by Wendy. But then it's like, who should Wendy be trusting right now? You can't trust your son. You can't trust the guy who was selling the jewelry, who got you and all this. You can't trust the publicist that was trying to take you on a Lifetime show to the Oscar red carpet when you clearly weren't healthy. You can't trust people who came in your house and filmed you with your wig off. Like, who can she trust at this point? And either way, now you've put.
He has a very valid point with that, because who can she trust? It seemed like all these people were here are put in place to be good for Wendy, and they were not. So who can she actually trust? Now, the Gina Lisa lady, I know that she works with a company that actually does help people when it comes to their finances and taking care of themselves. So that's supposed to be the liaison for Wendy Williams if she gets out of this conservatorship. So she seems legit, but I mean, at this point, Wendy does kind of have to put her faith in this lady because she can't trust her family, unfortunately. I mean, we see Tommy Williams and how he be acting on the internet. She obviously can't trust her brother. Her father is elderly. Her son is taking her money. I want to trust her niece, Alex, but I don't know. And I'm not saying Alex is a bad person, but how do we know we can trust her? That's how I feel.
Put your son out there on blast, and it's just too much. What do you think?
I feel like at this level, I don't know her personal circumstances, but I feel like she should have had like a team of people working for her, like an accountant and somebody like a legal person who could have flagged this kind of stuff. Like, people should not have been accessing her money and taking out hundreds of thousands of dollars without it being.
Well, she did have an accountant. That's the problem. She did have one. And then that's when they were able to get her in the conservatorship, because they were saying she was basically being blackmailed. Remember? So, yeah, she did have an accountant.
Notice that's just insanity to me.
That's why I feel like her husband did her dirty. If this is true, allegedly now her son did her dirty. I feel like she can forgive her son more than what her husband did. But I feel like the only person she can trust is her niece Alex, and thank God she has her. But this is just so sad.
Well, if you lie, cheat, or steal, you should be trusted no matter who you are. If Kev Jr. stole the money from what she said, then yeah, I mean that's fucked up. But
so wait, is that
with
the
all
reason?
this free Wendy stuff we've been doing, doesn't this make it more complicated now?
Yes, because is what they're saying, is this the reason why she's in a conservatorship?
That's one of the reasons why. But then
it's one of these situations where you want the public's attention, right? And you want the public on your side. But also, too, at the same time, yeah, we don't need to know everything, but you have to be honest into the reasoning why you were in this conservatorship or what exactly was going on. You can't want the public support and you're not telling us everything, because if Kevin is the reason why she's in this conservatorship, that's a large, I mean, you can't hide that part and expect us to be rallying behind you. And I'm not saying that I'm not rallying behind Free Wendy. I do think that she needs to be free. She sounds good, right? However, I don't know if her son is the right person for her to be around.
it also goes back to like, could they have released her to her family if her family was the people that were doing it? Like,
see,
you know, I don't know. I mean, I will say in all fairness, since we're just keeping it real now, Wendy did have a severe drinking problem, and it was good that she was able to sober up for a while. I'm not going to be messy like all these other people and tell their stories. What I will say is, as Wendy's friend, I myself saw she needed help, and I made sure that for me, I was an enabler. So I removed myself from the situation. But to know that there's these allegations that her son was the reason why her finances got all messed up and got weird, and then that ended her up in the guardianship, it just all is confusing. And now it's out there for us to consume. So people are eating it up. Now, in September 2024, the court had this to say about Kev Jr. While her son, Mr. Hunter, apologized for his past mistakes and inappropriate behavior, the court is not convinced that he can keep her safe and wouldn't willingly or unwittingly expose her to financial exploitation. So now,
you know what sucks about this is that they wanted a reason to be able to control Wendy. Now Kevin Jr. basically gave them a reason to control her. It's sad. I hate putting it like that, but it's true, you guys.
Now it's all sort of coming together that Kev Jr. from the court's perspective and his mom was a part of the problem. And Kev, this is even more alarming to me because I called you many times and you wanted me to do things to get her out, but you didn't want me to ever say that you were having anything to do with it. So was I being used for that? Because it's like you're going to do anything you can to help your friend.
Now, in the chat or in the comment section, please let me know. Do you think Jason Lee was being used?
And when you're helping her son, you think you're helping her until you find out that this right here wasn't even working. Well, in the documentary, the senior care consultant said upon Wendy's release from her guardianship, she should not be released under the care of her son, Kevin Jr. She argued, no, this is how we got here in the first place. Now, I have to say, if you're a caretaker for Medicaid, should you be making public declarations of what's in her best interest or not? I mean, now she's the guardian. But this is why I said to her, Gina Lisa, no disrespect to you, because you've been real sweet to me. I can't. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Man.
Well,
so there you have it. Jason basically walking away. He's like, I can't deal with it. I don't want no parts. It kind of has me thinking. And now I know she did do an interview yesterday with the Breakfast Club, and that relationship seems to be okay. But Jason basically letting it be known, like, I don't want no parts. I don't want to be a part of it. Something is going on internally behind the scenes, and we don't know about it, but all will be revealed, right?
Meanwhile, Wendy's niece Alex agreed and said, although Wendy loves Kevin Jr., there are other options to ensure the 60-year-old Wendy is properly taken care of. After Wendy exposed her son for potentially triggering her guardianship, she spent the weekend with him and her father, Thomas Williams, for his 94th birthday. Remember, we did the whole interview where she said she just wanted to go and be with him and didn't know if she was going to be allowed to go. What she did. Take a look. Here's the photo of them together, smiling, posing, and acting like she didn't just tell TMZ that he had taken her money.
Her dad
I'm
looks
happy
great
she
for
did
94.
go see her dad.
At this point, he looking like, let me just get out this photo. Let me just get it done. And here's Wendy and Kevin dining together in Miami. Take a look. I'll talk over it. They're clearly having a good time. She's on her cart. There goes Kev Jr. They're sitting there taking photos. I don't know if this is damage control. It looks like she's really enjoying him. I mean, she does love him. It is her son. What do you make of it so far? Messy?
It is
messy.
It is extremely messy, but I think at a certain point, if he made a mistake and she does love him,
no matter what we say, she's gonna always love her son. That's apparent. And if you know anything, I'm not like a Wendyologist, but I do know that she did struggle with infertility. So she was able to finally have a baby, and Kevin was that product. So yeah, she's going to love her son no matter what. She wanted this child. It's different from having an accidental baby from a child that you actually want.
think she will still want to be a part of his life. Do I think he needs to be like over her wellness? No.
A mistake.
Yeah.
He allegedly took her money and had her end up in a home locked away with people who forgot who they were, and got us out here spending our good time on Beyonce's internet, creating a whole movement to let her go back to him so he can get more money.
Yes, and I will say this: I don't want my bank dictating how my life is altered if someone in my family steals from me. Like, I don't need Wells Fargo saying I need a conservator. I don't need that. But if there are other options where people in her family can support her and put the proper people in place, like an accountant and a legal team, that's what needs to happen. Her son doesn't need to be over it, but I'm saying, yes, I give her grace to forgive him because she had have that room.
Right. Even though her son was the cause of the conservatorship, it seemed like there should have been more steps put into place to where necessarily she wouldn't have been put in a guardianship or a conservatorship. It still should have been some kind of liaison better than someone controlling her whole entire existence. And still, I have the question on why wasn't her niece Alex given permission to take over for Wendy if she did have other family?
The sad part is she's locked away, not able to make any money, and she didn't own herself, so she doesn't get the residuals. She's going to end up burning through all her money and be poor and handicapped in this wheelchair with the feet
Mm.
and out on the streets. And all these people are going to leave her. That's the sad part when you think about it, because who's going to take care of her? Who wants to take care of somebody that, I mean, I don't even want to take care of nobody. I have 2 dogs. I don't even know where my dogs are right now. I mean, I love my dogs, but I mean, in terms of like caring for a person who, you know, who needs a lot of care, who doesn't have resources. I mean, that's a lot. Well, aside from her accusing her son of potentially triggering her guardianship, Wendy Williams has also recently signed legal docs to end her legal care. According to TMZ, Wendy signed an affidavit asking the judge to set her free. And Wendy says that she has regained capacity to function without a legal and court-appointed guardian. Wendy also reportedly says that she does not have frontotemporal dementia. I ain't even heard of this until they said you had it, girl. So I forgot how to say it, but maybe I just got it.
I've never heard of it either.
She says that she don't have it, despite what doctors and her court-appointed guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, have been claiming. Now, sources told TMZ that upon signing this affidavit to end her guardianship, Wendy Williams will be reevaluated by a doctor, and that the doctor was hand-selected by the attorney that Wendy hired to end the guardianship. So clearly, her affairs are getting in order. She's reunited with her son after she said that he allegedly stole all her money. Not all of it, but enough of it. Bought that boat for $100,000. We go to boats.
I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. I'll put the link for the full video. But, you know, I do find it interesting because, again, this whole time we've been like, how did this even happen? How did this go on? Well, it seemed like her son was the cause of it. Now, again, I don't know why next, you know, there wasn't steps taken into place where it goes to the next family member, the next family member. I don't know all the details of that, but it's very alarming. And I think Jason Lee, and trust me, I'm very critical of Jason Lee, but I think he's right in stepping away just because, all right, in order for me to fight for you, I need to know everything. I don't want to be surprised or blindsided and hear stuff in the media. I should know everything. And especially if him and Wendy are supposed to be close, why did he have to find out through the TMZ documentary? That's kind of embarrassing. Like, I should know everything up front. That's how I would feel if I was Jason. So he's right for that. And again, just like his co-host was saying, even though, yeah, her son did her dirty, for them to dictate what to do with Wendy's money and her livelihood, I don't like that either. So, but let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you think Jason was bamboozled, or do you think he's overreacting? What do you think about Wendy's son being the reason she was in the conservatorship? Let me know. All right, y'all. Yeah.